Greetings everyone, hope you're doing alright. So in this video I just want to showcase the project that I worked on under this challenge, which is build faster like Loco. So in this project basically we were given an instruction to build any project that we can literally think about, but then the catch was we use this tool called Locofy.ai. So what Locofy is it's basically a tool that gets your design then converts it to front-end code. So you're literally just converting your design to code, which is pretty powerful. So I'm just going to give us a quick preview of what I made. Yeah, no, it's pretty basic. So I code my application Debt Buddy, which just helps you manage debt or helps businesses manage debt. Bearing in mind that it's a full stack application, you can sign up and you can log in as well. So for example, if I try to log in right now with credentials that do not exist, and maybe say force password, and try to log in, you obviously get some alerts there. So we're going to just start this off from scratch and just create a new account. So like that, fred@gmail.com, then choose a password. I'm not gonna tell you the password because obviously anybody can use it. So we get that message. So at this point we can log in with his credentials like that. Oh yeah, and we are in right now. So what you see here is a few statistics: customers, the total number of customers, pending debts, unpaid debts, as well as paid debts, as well as some charts that just help you visualize what you're looking at. Now the good part is using Locofy, you quickly build very responsive web applications. So as you can see, this was all done in Locofy, which is something I'll show you in just a bit. And you'll notice there's that. So we have this drawer that just comes up, and then as we resize, we obviously have that flexibility, so which is pretty cool. And you can see the charts here well displayed, so pretty powerful. All right, so getting back to our application, so you can obviously add a new debt. For example, you can click debts, right? So in this case you do not see anything because obviously this is a new account and you don't have anything there, but you can select a customer. We don't have any customer here, but you can do that. We can have customers. Again, we don't have any customers. So what I could do is we could just create a new customer real quick here. So joe@gmail.com, again, phone number, okay, then Joe45, right? No harm. So adding that. So okay, so a customer has been added, and we can see that this changes. And then we just have, so in the month of October we have this increment, so we have a new customer that has been added. Pretty cool, right? So upon doing that, we can actually get to our debts. So right now we don't have any debts, but we can now select a customer. So in this case we can select Joe Doe, and then just specify the date that he's collecting money as well as when he will return it. So maybe let's say 3,000, and then create this. Okay, so a new debt record has been added, and you can see the statistics just change. Then you can obviously update this. So for example, if we now come to debts right here, you can see that we have a pending transaction, which is its current status. So what you could do at this point is mark this as paid. So it will update, and then this is marked as paid. Get back to your dashboard, and you can see that in this month we have a record that has been updated. So that's pretty much the idea of the application. It just helps you analyze these things and just keep track of what's going on. So yeah, this was basically a simple application that I decided to just put up, but you obviously get the idea. So you can log out, and then if you want, just create an account of your own and you will be able to manage it. So how did I create this? So now this is the interesting part. See, okay, so what I did is I was using Figma. I didn't use any community templates provided, but I just created everything myself, because I was just trying to play around with this tool and just see how it works. So what I did is I created this dashboard and then split it into some parts, like the sidebar. I split it up and then obviously reused it here, and then I basically just duplicated these screens. I was trying to have a single page application which just changes content dynamically here, but then I couldn't necessarily figure out how to do it with Locofy because I didn't have a lot of resources to use. Now what I did is in the initial part I used images to kind of just position where the graphs would be. I knew that I would obviously change them at a later time, but I just decided to use some images to just help me visualize what I'm going to obviously have in the near future when I use the components that you saw, which are which are the graphs basically. So that's what I did. Then just duplicated that and then maintain the positions, because I knew that I would gain access to those parts. Then I created some separate forms here. As you can see, I maintained one pattern and then just duplicated them and then tweaked the designs. Then upon doing that, I also created a very simple step screen, which is just this part. Then upon doing that, I basically started linking up these pages with Locofy, which is the plugin that I was talking about. So let me just come here and show you. So I can run this plugin right now. Okay, so as you can see right now, I have this selected, which is the dashboard, and I can preview it from here, and then you obviously see that, and then you can work on the mobile responsiveness of this application by obviously just playing around with the provided screens. So by so doing, you get pretty much all that you need. Now obviously I also had to make some adjustments because I wanted this to be fixed, but then the problem is I couldn't get that. Let me see if I can just log in and show you what I mean by that. What was that again? Fred@streamup.com before. Okay, so let me just drag this over here, and then I'm going to push this here. So as you can see, there's a difference here. Here it's see that? Okay, strange. I actually thought I fixed that. Yeah, but okay. Yeah, I actually thought I had worked on that. So basically, the idea was this part ought to be fixed. Okay, so I think it's I don't know, maybe I skipped that part, but I was trying to actually make this sticky or make this fixed. I actually forgot I did that in the other test file that I was working with. So I couldn't fix this in Locofy. I don't know how you do that. There isn't much resource on how you can do that, but it's super easy in plain CSS, which is obviously something that you can do. You can add some custom CSS, but then I didn't necessarily like how it worked over here. Perhaps with more practice, you obviously get familiar with how it works. But yeah, so Locofy is pretty good So what I did is I separated these because I realized that for you to have something like a pop-up, it has to be in its own frame, so that way you get to select it, and then you can obviously come here and then go to like I could change the tag, for example, right, which is something I do not want to do right now, because I'd probably have to share this, but I could maybe say come here, and just create a frame like that. Then it gives me options like, what do you want this to be? Do you want it to be a container, an iframe, a pop-up, a drawer? So now that's why I separated these into separate parts, so that I could easily specify what kind of an element this was going to be in my main application. So then later you can also specify, if you select, maybe say this button, or you create another component within this one, you can obviously specify what you want it to be, maybe an image, a button. And if it's a button, you obviously get a lot of features as well. For example, I could edit this, and then I could obviously specify the stylings, and this is where you control how it will behave on different screens, and you can set different properties depending on the screen that you are currently on. You can also set things like hover, what happens when it's hovered on, which is pretty cool. So it helps you build the front end pretty fast. Yeah, so this is pretty much it. From here I just just exported this. So this is where I had my exports, so Locofy exports, where I had dead body, which was basically giving me pretty much the files that I needed. For example, source files. So we had pages, so just a few pages, customers, dashboard, dates, sign up, stat, right? Then I had components, which are those individual themes, like the sidebar, the drawers, the forms. So this is where most of them were. So it was just a matter of working on them. Then finally, after doing that, I obviously just brought this here, where I worked on the client. So just added a few more themes to just help me have better organization, as well as achieve more stuff. Then I also created the back end of this application, which is pretty basic. And yeah, that's pretty much about the application. So if you want to test it out, do feel free. I'll put a link to it so that you can test it out as well. Thank you so much.